Oh, you cut out. Sorry. Say again. You think it's connected with what?
Some fruit of American nations and this population of
Yeah, so we talked a little bit last week about America being sort of a land of immigrants. And quite a few Americans claim to have Irish heritage. So claim that at some point their ancestors were from Ireland. This is something that's disputed because apparently there are far fewer Irish Americans than people say, but people are very proud of this heritage. And so almost everyone claims to have at least a bit of Irish heritage. So
especially, I'm sorry, I just now joined you, and I'm Jen Marston, for those of you who don't know me. And I would say that on St. Patrick's Day, everybody claims to be Irish, no matter how remote that claim. It has to do with a state of mind that people assume for this holiday.
And Professor Marston, do you have is your camera working?
Oh, I'm so sorry. As I said, I just arrived, and I guess I'm not all here, as they say.
There we go. Now I see you.
Hello, Professor Brown.
Oh, it's nice to see you, Elena.
Nice to see you too.
And I wonder if we can hear from Nastya and Vlad as well. I saw Vlad typed something in the chat. Are you there, Vlad?
Yes, I'm here.
Cool.
Hi, Vlad. I
Hello,
remember you
Professor
fondly. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
Virtual Pete Smith today. Professor Smith can't be here, so I'm assuming his role, even though, as they say, I can't really fill his shoes. I can't do the things that he does. But I'm here, and I'm glad to be here. And Irina, do I know you? Will you speak, please, so I can see you?
I think you see me in the first time. Nice to meet you.
I'm glad to meet you too. You're not the Irina that I have taught before, however. And so, could I ask you to give me your elevator speech? Tell me something about yourself.
Okay. My name is Irina, and I'm 22 years old. I live in Homs, and I'm a student of one state university of the AAT. I'm a lawyer. Now I learn in a master program of law, and I work like a chef editor in one magazine, in one old magazine. I think that's all.
Well, thank you very much. I'm a mostly retired professor of modern languages, and I live in Des Moines, Iowa. Iowa. And if you choose, I saw it. Carly, did you have that? Oh yes. I was going to show you a map of this country. I'm sorry, I just went in and took over.
No, that's okay. Go ahead. I'm going to look at something in the background, so I'll let you have.
Okay, so what I hope you are looking at now is the largest ancestry map of the United States. And Carly, Professor Storm, is my one-time student, and she is from the state of Iowa. This is Iowa that I am pointing to on the map. And I came to Iowa from Texas, which you'll see here. And Professor Smith lives in Texas. I am originally from the state of Oregon on the West Coast, which you can see. And Professor Smith is originally from Pennsylvania, although, so you're getting a wide range of characters with the three of us. But now, living in Iowa, this is a part of the Great Midwest, and there is an interregional highway that connects directly between Professor Smith and where I live in Iowa. It's called I-35. We have other things in common. Iowa is a sparsely populated place. There are roughly 3 million people live in the state of Iowa, and the area that Professor Smith lives in, the Dallas-Fort Worth area, just this small part of the state of Texas, has twice as many people as the entire state of Iowa. The Dallas Metroplex has 6 million people. So that's a bit about me and how we work together. And I've worked with Professor Smith and Professor Storm for some time. And so some of you know with whom I've worked in the past. So Carly, are you ready to talk about the luck of the Irish?
Sure. So, and I saw that Vlad wasn't entirely sure, maybe some others aren't as well, about what exactly St. Patrick's Day is. So like Professor Marston said, it's a day where Irish are not, many claim to be, and it's a day to wear green, to go out to the bars, drink green beer, eat Irish food, things like this. And I would say, for the most part, it's a celebration of the history of Irish Americans, for example, or just Irish in America in general. And in terms of why it's St. Patrick, this is something perhaps Professor Marston knows a little bit more about. All I can say is that he was an Irish clergyman, right, who was known for having driven the snakes out of Ireland.
Yes, that's a bit of blarney, I think.
Yes, and of course the people were saying, or at least it's that snakes is symbolism for pagan religions, so that it's that bringing religion to Ireland, bringing Christianity.
Yeah, I don't think he was actually Irish. I think he came there and brought the good news, as it were, and stamped out the pagans and moved on to bigger things.
Yeah.
It is part of the history, though. And if you look at the graphic at the top of the Irish Toast page on the you see this hat and a little leaf that is there. That leaf is called a shamrock, and it's clover of sorts, and a good luck charm is clover with 4 leaves.
As we talk about Irish good luck charms, this is the shamrock, definitely an important one. So these are some Irish toasts that Professor Lero found that we could go over today. I see we've got Constantine, Leonid, and Nastya, are you there as well? Can you try saying something? Okay, Nastya's here. I heard you say, Is that you?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, good. Nastya's here with us. Good, good.
And Kostya, so nice to see you.
Good morning, Professor Marston. Glad to see you again.
I'm filling in for Professor Smith today, who can't be here, and I may be here 1 or 2 other times this semester. And I'm happy to be here as well. And Nastya, I am a member of the teaching group, and I don't know you. Can you give me your elevator speed?
Okay. First of all, I want to say that nice to meet you. I'm Nastya. I'm from Omsk, but now I live in Bulgaria. I am a ecologist, but now I work as a coach. And I really like my work. It inspires me. Yeah, I think that's all.
And what sport do you coach?
Pole dance.
Ah, oh, I love that.
Me too.
It's very good exercise.
Yeah. Actually, it's very difficult sport. Maybe it looks so easy, but it's not.
Yes, it doesn't look easy to me, and I have to say I've never tried it. But who knows, maybe I'll be inspired to do that.
Maybe.
So today we're sort of revisiting yesterday's holiday, which is in the U.S. one of 2 holidays where people really drink a lot of alcohol. And there are others, but this is maybe one of the big ones. And it's celebrating St. Patrick's Day. Quite often in bars, they will dye the beer green. On the highway yesterday, I saw a sign that said, "Drink green beer, see red lights in your mirror," which is a warning that you will be arrested if you drink and drive. So the message was, don't drink and drive. So that's red and green. And the other big holiday, since I mentioned it, is Oktoberfest, the big harvest festival. Most people, young people who go out for things like this are going to do that anyway. So I see that Carly has made some assignments about what Irish toasts are. Do you know what a toast is?
What's a toast, guys? And when do you make a toast? So we're not talking about toast as in crispy bread. What kind of toast? I'm sure many of you know, actually. Konstantin, what is a toast?
What is a toast? I think it's like I don't know how to say. It's a speech before the drinking.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. And Professor Lero came up with this list of Irish toasts that people might say on St. Patrick's Day or other times of the year if they're very proud of their Irish heritage. These sorts of things were very important to my family because on my mother's side, my grandfather and his family came over on a boat from Ireland. So this is a holiday that was very important to my family. So anyway, I have I've assigned some things here. What I would like you to do, if you can see them, please, you can make this screen smaller. You can minimize it so that you can see the entire list. Please make the list smaller. And then you will see the names. So I assigned numbers 1 and 2 to Aliona, numbers 3 and 4 to Konstantin, numbers 5 and 6 to Leonid, and 7 and 8 to Nastya. And Vlad, you get number 10 because that's a longer one. So we need to have a longer one. And Irina, you have 9 and 11. So please read those, try to understand, and then you will explain these toasts to your classmates. Please. Take a couple of minutes to do this. Just a couple of minutes, please.
It's not really a toast, but an old Irish blessing, which is part of the Irish culture that has come down in my family. And I put it into the chat.
It's a beautiful one.
And I'm going to read it to you. May the road rise to meet you. May the wind be always at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face. The rains fall soft upon your field. And until we meet again, may God hold you in the palm of his hand. Very warm sentiments there. So that you don't have to work to get up the hill, and the wind helps you along your way, and the sun warms you, and the rain nourishes your field, and God protects you.
Very beautiful. Is everyone ready to tell us about your toasts? So you'd start by reading your toast and saying what you think it means, or saying it in other words. Aliona, are you ready to begin?
I may begin, but I'm afraid of bad ideas in this topic.
That's okay. We can try and then we can discuss them together.
That Because I have known many, like not a few, love only one. I drink to you. Maybe as I understood, he said that he knew many things, but not so many for situations that he knew absolutely all things. But as for but loved only one,
So he's talking about people, right?
have known many. It's about people,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He meant that he knew many people, but only some of them he liked among them only a few people, not all people that he knew, and from all these people, he loved only one person, and it's a way of relations to people around, and maybe he wanted to tell about three important degrees of meeting the people and the relations.
Yeah, very nice. So he's saying he's known a lot of people. He's disliked just a few people, but he's only ever loved one person. And so he's toasting to the person he loves, perhaps his spouse, or perhaps he's drinking to their memory if they're no longer here. That's a beautiful one. What about the second one?
Wait.
Maybe
Could I just add one more little thing?
Mm-hmm.
This is poetic language. Can you tell me the difference between not a few and many?
not a few. It means that not in Russian немного, но достаточно. I'll try to translate. Not a few, that not so little, but not so much. It's some kind of middle.
Yeah, not a lot, but enough. I think how you translate it from Russian, right? Not a lot, but enough.
Thank you.
Okay, good. I just wanted to clarify that. Not a few is not too different from many. It's actually, I've known a lot of people and I liked a lot of them, but I've only loved one.
Very sweet.
Okay, now I'll be quiet.
That's okay. Aliona, number 2.
And may you live as long as you want, and never want as long as you live. Nobody forbids you to live, and you he so says that you may live as long as you want really, but you shouldn't want something or want to live alone while you live. You should simply enjoy your life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and this Professor Marston wrote in the chat too. This it's almost a play on words, right? Because there are two meanings of want in this sentence. Want as in to desire, and want as to need or to lack something.
Of course, it's very different between desire and need. Desire is your own dreams, but it is not necessary for you. You only want to give it, to get it. But need, it's nurture, some kind of nurture. Need, it's your it's something that you really need for your living, for your happy life, and it's not only your it's not only desire you imagine and that doesn't matter much.
Yeah.
Much.
Yeah. So we sometimes say to people, I hope you never want for anything. I hope you never, what's another way we could say that, Professor Marston? I hope you never want for anything. I hope you
have your every desire.
Yeah, I hope you have everything you need. I hope you never want for anything. Yeah, that's really good though, Alyona. Very, very nice. You definitely hit the nail on the head. Another thing. Constantine, number 3, please.
The first go on the road to health for want of use. I think it means that many nobodies passes along the road to the health. Maybe so.
Yeah, so the grass has grown long on the road because no one has traveled it.
And here's that same second use of want that we saw in number 2. For want of use means people don't go on the road. And I think you got that quick, Joe. That was good.
There is a difference between want and want of, I think. Or for want.
Yeah, want here is used as a noun, but it also means lack. As a verb, it means to lack, and here it is for lack of use.
Yeah,
so,
like nobody uses it.
Yes, I think you've caught the meaning of it very well.
Very good. Number 4, Constantine.
My trouble with you is part of my grandmother's teeth. I think my troubles appears rarely.
And you rarely have trouble.
Yes.
And you have very few troubles, and if you do, may they be far from one another. So it's not one problem after another problem after another problem.
Yeah.
Like your grandmother's teeth.
I love that. My grandmother didn't have any teeth at all when I knew her.
Sorry?
My grandmother had no teeth at all when I knew her. She had false teeth.
Oh, okay. May your troubles be as few and as far apart as your grandfather's teeth.
Yeah.
Mother teeth.
That was really good. Yeah, those were great. You guys are understanding these perfectly. Not even much of a need to explain them.
Bigora, and they might be a bit of Irish themselves.
Yes, maybe. Leonid, are you there?
Hello, everyone.
Hey.
Nice to meet you, Professor. I start. May your neighbors respect you, trouble neglect you, the angels protect you, and heaven accept you. This toast about life without trouble and about love people around you and about helps of angels.
Yeah, about having a happy life.
It's
right?
easy toast, I think.
Yeah. And this one's special because of the sound that repeats very often, right? Respect, yes. Neglect, protect, accept. The accept that one's a little bit different because it doesn't end in an ECT, ends in EPT, but they sound the same.
Okay, understand.
Very, very nice. And then next one.
Next one is that we may always have a clean shirt, a clean consistence, and a guinea in our pocket. Okay, about clean life. I have problem with translating guinea in our pocket.
A guinea is another word for a pound, which is British money.
Okay, understand. Okay, so this talks about life with many money.
Or maybe not a lot, but maybe just some, maybe enough.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
I agree.
It's really good. Clean shirt, clean conscience, and a guinea in our pocket. That's good. And Nastya, number 7.
May I see you gray and combing your children's hair. I think that when person says you this, he wishes you to live many times. Not many times.
Years.
Many years, yeah. And longevity, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Wishing you longevity. Yep. Wishing you a long life.
Yes. And next, may you die in bed at 95 years, shot by a jealous husband. Right. This is wishes you longevity too, and it wishes to have active and energy when you will be at 95 years, and even have a lover maybe.
Exactly.
Yeah, in this year.
Yeah, that your life would be full of passion and romance, even in old age.
Yes, exactly.
That's really great. I think this one's really funny. I like this a lot. Irina, are you ready to tell us about number 9?
Okay. May you have the hard side to know when you're being, the foresight to know where you're going, and the insight to know when you're going too far. I think that this talks about yes, you these 3 words, and hindsight, it means in Russian. Okay, I'm trying to explain. This talks about your feeling of your plans about future and understanding what you need to do in your life and right now and tomorrow maybe and the day after tomorrow.
Yeah.
You need to understand it.
Yeah, exactly. And so Professor Marston wrote in the chat, so hindsight is the view behind you. So you can look back and know where you've been. Foresight, meaning ahead, to the fore. Foresight, looking ahead to know where you're going, where you want to go in life, like you said, your goals. And insight, understanding, wisdom. It's very internal, you know. To know when you've gone too far. What does that mean, to go too far in this case? To have the insight to know when you're going too far.
In Russian, зайти слишком далеко.
Oh, I'm sorry to say that that's the one thing about me that I can't duplicate for Professor Smith. I do not know Russian. I don't know any Russian at all.
Okay, no. It's go for a verb, no?
Say again.
A verb, no?
Can you try to type it?
I can find the synonym of this word so far in English.
But I think you've got the meaning. So I think we understand kind of what it means. But insight to know when you're going too far, maybe to the insight or the wisdom to know your mistakes, to understand when you've made mistakes, for example. Yeah, but if you want, Irina, you can type the synonym.
It's not like a verb, it's a verb.
Avenge. No, it doesn't sound, but then again, the sound is kind of funny, so I'm not sure if I'm hearing you right. That's why I thought maybe you could type it. Sometimes the sound is not the best.
It's really a good idea to
overdo it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I didn't hear that at all.
Yeah, I heard avenge or something. Overdo it. Yeah.
Oh, that's very good.
It's great.
It's going too far overdue. I like it a lot.
It's perfect. Very nice. Good. I like the comparison between hindsight, foresight, and insight. The beginning of each of those words really gives us a clue as to their meaning. Hind, for, in,
And in every case, it doesn't involve your ability to see with your eyes. It's metaphorical, those three words. But the repetition of the sound is like so many Irish expressions, tends to be poetic.
And also, we have a saying that might be interesting for all of you. Hindsight is 20/20. 20/20. So hindsight, it means now I see my mistake in the past. Now I see perfectly my mistake. Because 20/20 means perfect vision. If you have 20/20 vision, you don't need glasses, you see perfectly. Hindsight is 20/20. If you're looking back and you're seeing the mistakes you made.
Why 20/20? Why not 100%?
Good question. That could be your homework assignment.
But let me give you a clue while we're here. It's the way that your vision is normally measured. That means when you look at something which is 20 feet away, sorry, it's feet, that's what we use here, you see it exactly as it is at 20 feet. So if you have one kind of effective vision, like 20/60, that means that the object which is 20 feet away appears to you to be 60 feet away. I have bad eyes, so I know about this.
Yeah. That's good. I did not know that before. I never stopped to think about it. Taking that for granted.
You don't have bad eyes.
I do. I really do. I've worn contacts since junior high and had glasses since elementary school.
I started to wear glasses when I was 3. And I wore contacts for 4 years, and finally they said, oh no, you need to stop that and go back to glasses.
Well, you look much better in glasses than I do, trust me. I don't look very good in glasses, so I prefer this.
Well, thank you. I have to make it a virtue since I have no choice.
Nice job, Irina. Let's go on to number 11, since that one is yours as well.
Okay, beautiful young people are fascinated, but beautiful old people are lots of art. I think it means that when you're young, it's normal to be beautiful and nice and pretty, but when you stand all there, it's a big job to be beautiful and to stay young and
Yeah. It's quite an accomplishment to be beautiful in old age.
yes, it's very difficult. So when you are not to 25 years girl, and I think it's a real big job.
Or even, for me, I don't know how you all feel about it, but elderly men and women, in general, I tend to think that they are very beautiful. It's something that comes along with the experience and wisdom and time, and somebody has experienced so much during their lifetime that there's something about reaching an old age that is in itself beautiful. I don't know if that makes any sense, but that's what I think. I think of my grandmother, for example. My grandmother is 93. 93. And she's worked hard all of her life. She's a very beautiful, spunky, we say spunky as in lots of personality. Fiery, like very fiery, like a little firecracker. And to me, she's a very beautiful older woman. So I would say she's a work of art. Spunky, yeah. Professor Marston wrote the explanation in the chat. Spunky, lots of personality. Lots of personality. And we could also say bubbly. Spunky, bubbly. Great. Thank you, Irina. That was really good. And last but not least, Lot.
Yes, my turn. I almost forgot this toast. So I think.
Wait, read it first.
Oh yeah, you have to read it.
Yeah. May the frost never inflict your spots. May the outside leaves of your cabbage always be free from worms. May the crow never pick your haystack, and may your donkey always be in fall. I think literally the definition of this toast, direct to successful harvest, because everything in this toast associated with the end result, because your harvest will be good if your cabbage will be free from worms, free from crows as a pest. Your instrument should be in good technical conditions, besides of any influence like weather. Your donkey should be young forever to help you. And I think if I will say this toast, it will be, it means to wish life, to live without any troubles in your life. Yes.
Exactly.
Any type of.
Okay, so some of this vocabulary I think you might find challenging. Do you know what spuds are?
It's kind of. I can show you.
Cargobo. Potato. Did you know this? Have you heard the word spud for potato before?
In Russia, it's yapka, I think.
It's what?
I will write.
Chapka. And is that? I've never heard that before. Is that also a type of potato?
No, it's
It's something like shovel.
Uh-huh. Like a shovel. Yeah, but spuds
That's
is sort
something
of...
for your,
What?
an instrument for your garden.
As I understand, what's kind of instrument from
No,
garden?
no.
No?
Nope. A spud is like an informal term or slang word for potatoes.
You're thinking of spade.
Oh, yeah, he's thinking... Yeah, you're thinking of spade.
Yes, yes.
Spud is a potato.
So, and then you have afflict and an affliction. Something that afflicts you is a bad thing. And in this case, we have frost. It's like ice attacking your potatoes. It's a bad thing. And so I think you're right. It's all about farming and the harvest. So may the outside leaves of your cabbage always be free from worms. What are worms? Okay, have you ever grown cabbage? Yeah. What are worms?
Worms, as I said, it's a kind of pest.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, yeah, that, I remember you said that. And actually, there's a specific kind of worm that attacks cabbages. It's called, as you might guess, a cabbage worm. So, okay, so we don't want the frost to freeze your potatoes. We don't want your cabbage to be eaten by cabbage worms. And then we've got, crows. Crows are definitely a pest. And then donkeys being in foal. You know what in foal is?
As I understood, it means to be young. Donkey always be.
Actually, it's pregnant.
Yes.
And therefore, there's a kind of harvest there too.
Donkey always be full.
So this is an interesting group of expressions, and I have heard some of these before, but I have to confess I didn't realize they were all Irish. We come from a multicultural society for sure, and so that's why we're looking for that. Now, have you seen this map before?
No.
This goes back to what you wrote about in the blog this week, the melting pot and the salad bowl. This is from the United States Census, which is taken every 10 years, and this one happens to be from the year 2000. It shows the ancestry, the family origin of the population. And so, for example, I live in Iowa, and if you may need to resize this, I don't know. A good bit of that population has German origin, and you'll see two little green spots, and that's Dutch. There are two at least two very large Dutch ancestry towns and areas around those towns in Iowa, and they are very proud of their heritage. The one that's close to where I live is called Pella, and its small town looks like a 19th century Dutch town as far as its architecture and its main square. It's a pretty big tourist attraction, especially the first week in May when they have a large tulip festival. Tulips grow there. But this map doesn't show the diversity of Iowa as much as I would expect. Iowa has become a haven, a safe place for immigrants. And in my experience, we have a large group of Bosnians and Hmong. The Hmong are an agricultural people that lived in Vietnam and were sort of a separate ethnic group, and they were invited by our then governor to come as a group and live in Iowa, which is a big farming area. And the Bosnians came at the end of the U.S. involvement with the Bosnian conflict. So when I go to the farmer's market, which is near my house, I'm going to see people from those two ethnic groups for sure. There are others too. We now have a lot of Sudanese. So this may have this map may not be entirely accurate, but it is interesting nonetheless.
And as you can see, we have a lot of people of Irish ancestry on the East Coast as well.
And that would be the green spot. No. Yes.
Yep. I've got this up here. And the Irish is the darker purple. Okay, so I wanted to talk a little bit about your posts, which were really, really great. And we asked you to think about melting pot versus salad bowl. These are analogies. And this is something that you had to do on your own because we didn't have time to cover it in class. And you all did a very, very nice job. Let's kind of recap. I'd like to recap on that if we can. Maybe we can start with, I'd like to hear from some of you that we haven't heard from very often. Let's say, Constantine, can you tell us your understanding of melting pot versus salad bowl?
I think when some nations I don't know how to say, but I think that if the nations identify themselves as nations but not Americans, and they live separately, I don't want to say live. If they have a separate culture, it's a salad bowl, and when the people live despite to their nations, their nationality, it's when they feel themselves and Americans only. It's a melting pot.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's really good. So we had two common ways about thinking of America. And first typical way of thinking about it was melting pot, and it was exactly like you said. Here, if everyone can see this picture, you might need to make it smaller. But the idea was that different people from different countries, different backgrounds, all come together and say, they come to America. America itself is like the pot, right? And so they kind of melt together and they make a new substance that is uniquely American. And a salad bowl is much more like this picture, where everyone is together in the same bowl, but they have their own distinct identities, maybe multiple identities or hierarchical identities. On one level, they consider themselves to be American, on the other, perhaps Irish, perhaps German, these sorts of things. And I wanted to hear more about your thoughts on Russia, about whether or not you think Russia is more like a melting pot, or is Russia more like a salad bowl, or is it like something else completely? Can you think of another analogy, another image that we can use to describe Russia? And maybe, Leonid, can you give us some thoughts about this?
Yes, I try. I think Russia is a salad bowl country because we have different republic with titular nation and different nation who lives in Russia provide their own culture, but in Russian law area. So I think we have salad bowl.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I'm curious. So you think Russia's like a salad bowl. So what is the common factor, other than belonging to the same country? Is it some sort of special set of values that's common between all the different nations, or language, or what do you think is the glue? What do you think is the cement that holds everything together in Russia? What do you think?
Vlad wrote in the chat that vodka is what brings everyone together.
Leonid, what do you think? What do you think is the glue that holds it all together?
I think all Russians, all which consist of different nations, first of all have imperial idea that we all from big country and that we help to each other, and we have a difficult history, I think, many wars, and everybody fight for Russia. So I think it's one of the factors.
Thank you so much. I'm really glad to hear you speak, because you have such good ideas, Leonid. So please don't be shy. It's wonderful when you talk.
Thank you.
So that's really great, and your blog posts are really wonderful as well. So I'd like to hear from other people. So Leonid gave us an example of shared history. People have gone through difficult times together, yet they've all fought for their country, difficult wars. What are some other things? If Russia's a salad bowl, what is the sauce, or what is the cement that holds everything together and unites the country? Is it, again, I can give you some examples. Is it language? Again, shared history like Leonid, or what are your ideas? I'd like to hear from anybody who's willing to say something on the subject. Mm-hmm. Sorry, Irina, it was very quiet.
Or something like that. I think it's our president called us together.
It's your what?
That our president called our nations together.
Ah, okay, it's the president, so it could be a person.
What?
Could be a person. So I said so it could be a person, not just shared history, right? Not just language.
And history, of course. But...
Many factors. I agree. There are many factors. I'm just curious learning what you think those are. Alyona, can you tell us something else?
As for me, I have an opposite mind as for Russia, maybe, because I think every country dreams of being a melting pot, despite of difference in nationalities and ethnicity, because being in a melting pot makes the country and its culture stronger. And it would be great if all countries, citizens of countries, think in one direction and to relate with the other people as in being melting pot. Too many things integrate people within the country. Culture, language, of course, history, big history, and literature, and many things. And I think countries should be in a melting pot, every country.
Yeah, definitely. Melting pots would be easier, right?
It doesn't mean that I don't mind of many nationalities, but all these nations should think as one country if they are in one country.
Yeah, it's just that the reason I mentioned these two analogies is because in the United States there's a lot of debate. Should the United States be a melting pot or should it be a salad bowl? Because when people come from so many different places, is it right to ask them to abandon one identity in favor of something else? Do you have to forget where you came from to be a part of the United States, for example?
Yeah, I agree.
And a lot of people say, no, we don't want to forget where we came from. We want to be American and Spanish and Mexican and these sorts of things. But
one of the things that we hear people say in this regard involves being called a hyphenated American. So you might be a German American or a Mexican American or a Swedish American or an African American or an Italian American. And this is a way of saying, I'm an American, but I have a strong ethnic history or other identifying marker that I don't lose sight of. And I get the feeling that Carly is an Irish American. Is that right?
Yeah, and that was something that my family always used that term to describe ourselves. It's interesting. I used to very much, and now not as much. But I am very proud of that heritage because I think it's wonderful to have a diverse background. But yet, I'm much more of an American than I am Irish. I was not born in Ireland, so I can't claim really that I can't claim as much of that as my grandfather could, for example. But it's interesting thinking about what holds it together when everyone is so different and everyone comes from so many different places. What holds society together? And the reason I mentioned this, especially after we watched the Coke commercial, is some people say that language, specifically the English language, is extremely important in holding America together. Some people say this, which is why, well, actually I can have you tell me. So if there's that assertion, English is the cement that holds us all together, then what does that say about the Coca-Cola commercial? I'm not saying I agree with this. I'm saying this is an argument that some people have made. I personally don't agree, but that's just me. Vlad, can you say something about it?
Yes, I just started to put in the chat. About language, I think that anyway, language is a fundamental thing of any country, of any nation, because language is everything. It's a way how people live in, how people think, even such things like policy. Language influence on every sphere of life. And I think that's very important.
Yeah, and so that's sort of my next question is that, for example, in Russia, if Russian language is the glue, like some people say it is in America, some people would argue. Even though, as I mentioned last time, we have no national language in America. There's not. So it's important to remember that. And I think I showed you this last time. This picture is titled "The Hate Truck" for a very good reason. Change our national anthem? How stupid can you be? You're still illegal in this land. Go back to your country. Welcome to America, amigo. Tell me how you love it. Show me your Mexican flag. I'll show you where to shove it. So hateful. So awful. And again, here we see sort of it's all or nothing. Either you're a patriot or you're an idiot. Either you're a hawk or you're very aggressive politically, or you're a dead dove. Peace is dead, right? And he's saying it's your choice. Really, it makes it sound as though there is no choice. So this is how some people have reacted.
It's just regular nationalism.
So what happens in Russia? I'm curious. Just does this happen in Russia as well? Sometimes where you see this, where what happens if there's an immigrant who comes into a store in Omsk, we'll say Omsk, and does not speak one word of Russian? What is going to be the reaction? I can start actually with Nastya. I'm sorry, Nastya, we haven't heard from you in a little while. What do you think the reaction would be?
Can you repeat the question, please?
If someone came to Omsk, or wherever your hometown, but you're from Omsk, but you're living in Bulgaria. So if somebody came to Omsk and didn't speak a word of Russian, and they were in a bank or in a store, how would people react?
I think that people will react negative, with negative. Because in Russia, I know have many nationalities, and this is a problem actually. And I think Russian will be aggressive по отношению
in relation
to people.
Okay, yeah.
Because they went to Russia and they doesn't speak Russian. I think it's неуважение.
Disrespect.
Disrespect to the country and to the country.
And this isn't something that's unique to Russia. As you can see, there are people like this in America as well. So it's definitely not just Russia. I've seen this as well from time to time. What was it though? Sometimes though, and if people don't speak English here, it's tolerated, or we just ignore. We ignore it sometimes because we don't want to deal with it. I heard a story of someone from Norway in a very busy airport in the United States, and the flight was overbooked, and people needed to change their flights. And he had a strategy. He pretended that he spoke no English. He went to the counter. Everyone was trying to argue, trying to stay on that flight. And he said, Europe, Europe. And they tried to talk to him, and he just said, no English, Europe, or something. And it worked. He stayed on the flight, and he flew back to Norway. Very good strategy, yeah. Absolute. Let's see, if you can't speak, what's your problem? How to live here? Yeah, I'd like to hear from you guys about that. Vlad, can you explain that, and then we'll have Irina and Leonid follow up. You mean you're absolutely tolerant, right?
Yeah.
But in what way? You mean you're absolutely tolerant? It means it's okay if they don't speak Russian. Would you help them, or what would you do?
I try to help.
Yes, help. And
Very
so
nice.
what? If you can't speak, it's your problem. I will do my best, but it's your problem how to live, how to work.
Yeah. What would you do, Irina?
I must agree with that because I said that many Russian people help to foreign citizen if he can find something in the shop, and if he is maybe a tourist but not illegal. And it's a big delusion that Russians are not tolerant. I think if this human isn't working in this country yet, and maybe he arrived maybe on 2 weeks, 1 month, or half a year. It's not a problem to explain something in English or in another language which he's speaking in. And I think maybe I can be angry only on humans who is it's not that is
Say again.
what
I didn't hear what you said.
that is okay. Depends. My tolerance depends only
sorry, I didn't hear.
only from behavior of foreign citizen and not from his language.
Yeah. As for me, I experienced both when I was in Russia. At the time, I spoke some Russian, but it wasn't. My Russian now is much better than it was. And there were people who were very kind to me. This is in St. Petersburg, so it's a big city. It's not perhaps average Russia, but some people were very kind to me, and some others weren't. But I really appreciated the kindness because I always tried. Very nice. So as you can tell, we talked about this because of the reaction to the Coke commercial, and then the nature of America as melting pot salad bowl. And I wanted to get you guys thinking about how you would describe Russia. Very interesting to me, everything you said. Very interesting. And
it has something to do with being not like the rest of the people. In the mid-70s, I went to live in Madrid in Spain, and I spoke only a little bit of Spanish, and so I wasn't able to do the normal things that one does to take care of oneself. It was a huge difficulty for me to go to the butcher shop to buy meat, because in Europe, meat is not carved the same way as it is in America. So I couldn't just go in and say, I'd like 2 pork chops and a rump roast, because I would look in the meat case and look at the butcher, and I didn't know what to call what I was looking at or how it was cut up. So nothing was there that I recognized. And so the butcher asked me what I wanted, and I didn't know what to say, because he didn't ask me the same thing that he'd asked all the people that looked like Spaniards. Here I was, blonde, and I had on funny clothes, and I had a small child with me who spoke English. And so it was really terrible for me, and I wanted to just point at things in the case and say, you know, what's that? And so I tried that, and the butcher, who had a very thick accent from the south of Spain, I couldn't understand his word, and I pointed at something that happened to be bull's balls. and I'd never seen them before, had no idea what it was, but it looked like something I might be able to identify again. And the butcher was very embarrassed, and he didn't want to. He said, "You don't want those." And at which point, since I didn't understand anything that he said to me, I burst into tears and ran away. And it was 4 months before I could go back, having learned enough Spanish that I could talk. And I took my neighbor with me to help me. And she didn't speak English either, but she knew enough to know how to listen to me. And so what I'm saying is, being different is sometimes the problem. Yeah. So, and that can happen anywhere. And I think I would like to get you to think about the ethnic groups that you might encounter in your daily life. And it is true, the difference between going someplace as a tourist and going someplace where you're going to live. For example, I spoke pretty good literary Spanish. I could read and discuss literature, but it didn't help me when I wanted to buy some lean pork. So let me get you to think about the kind of people that you have met during the last week. People who are not like you in some way or another. And I'm not asking you to make a judgment about them, but how many people that you do you meet that are not of your particular ethnic group? And what ethnic group might you think they would be at? For example, do you see women who are wearing some kind of Muslim dress in the street? So you can write in the chat or talk, but I would like to know, some of you may have a bigger circle that you travel in rather than others.
Will that be the, sorry, Professor Marston, will that be the home task then? Because we're actually out of time.
Oh gosh. I will give you a similar home task to write about, and it's going to be about your cultural context, and we'll try to get that out to you as soon as possible, if that's okay with you, Carly.
Yep, that sounds great.
Okay, we'll do it. And
you can always email it to me if you'd like, and I can post it in the blog.
Okay, I'll do that.
Sounds good.
Okay, well, I can't tell you how much fun it has been for me to be here, and it may be a bit before I come again, but I will look forward to that as well. So have a good week. Thank you for welcoming me so much.
Thank you guys. You did a really wonderful job. Please don't be shy. If you ever have anything to say in the future, just let us know so we can make sure that you're heard. Basically, the idea is to speak as much as you want to speak, just as long as everyone gets to.
It's difficult.
I know. But even if you...
It's the hardest thing to get a practice in another language. And if you have, if you can make yourself talk and make yourself write in the chat, you're going to learn more. And this is just a wonderful graphic that you have up here, and we didn't even talk about it. So we may have to come back to that. Anyway, thank you again, and have a good week.
Thank you all. Take care. We'll see you next week.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you very much. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
Stay if you're there. I'm going to get going.